If I had to describe my life in one sentence, it would be this. My grandmother didn't just raise me, she made me who I am. From my earliest memories of her holding my tiny hands to now being 30 years old, her love, discipline, and wisdom have shaped every part of my journey. And today, I want to take you on that journey with me, through childhood laughs, teenage struggles, and adult lessons, all guided by the gentle but firm hands of my grandmother. Some of my earliest memories are of waking up to the smell of her cooking. She would always make sure I ate before I left for school, even if it meant she woke up hours earlier. I remember her soft hands patting my back when I refused to eat vegetables, her patient smile when I threw tantrums, and her quiet strength when times were tough. She wasn't just a grandmother, she was my second mother. My parents worked long hours, and it was my grandma who tied my shoelaces, helped me with homework, and told me bedtime stories. Her stories were not just fairy tales, they were life lessons wrapped in simple words. She always taught me that kindness and respect were worth more than money. When I fell and scraped my knee, she was there with a cloth and soothing words. When I got my first A in school, she clapped louder than anyone else. She built my confidence when I was shy, and she reminded me that mistakes were just steps toward learning. As I grew older, like many teenagers, I thought I knew everything. I remember being stubborn, arguing about little things, and sometimes ignoring her advice. But my grandmother never raised her voice unnecessarily. She believed discipline came from consistency, not anger. She would sit me down and say, "Life doesn't give you everything you want, but it gives you everything you need to grow." Those words hit me harder as I grew up. During high school, when I was struggling with my identity and trying to fit in, she reminded me to stay true to myself. She wasn't strict in a controlling way, she was strict in a loving way. She made me realize that boundaries were not cages but safety nets. Even when I failed, she never used the word disappointed. Instead, she said, "This is just one chapter of your book. Turn the page and keep writing." That mindset carried me through many difficult moments. When I turned 20 and stepped into adulthood, my grandmother's role shifted from a guardian to a guide. She no longer told me what to do every day, but she always stood close enough for me to lean on. College life was a roller coaster, financial struggles, long nights, stress about the future. But every weekend, when I visited home, she made sure I ate a full meal and rested. She always slipped a little money into my pocket, even when she didn't have much herself. When I got my first job, she was proud but reminded me not to let money change my heart. She often said, "Character lasts longer than a paycheck." Those words still echo in my head whenever I face temptations or challenges. Her love was not about gifts or grand gestures. It was about presence. The way she listened to me without judgment, the way she always had time for me, the way she celebrated small victories, it all mattered more than anything else. Today, I'm 30 years old. I've seen enough of life to know how rare unconditional love is, and I've been lucky enough to live in it every single day. My grandmother is older now, her steps slower, her hair grayer. But her spirit is as strong as ever. She still asks if I've eaten, still reminds me to be humble, and still believes I can do anything if I work hard. Sometimes, when I see her sitting quietly, I realize that the roles are slowly reversing. Now I'm the one reminding her to take her medicine, making sure she's comfortable, and sitting beside her when she feels lonely. And in those moments, I feel the circle of life completing itself. She once cared for me as a child, and now I care for her as an adult. The greatest gift she gave me. Looking back, the greatest gift my grandmother gave me wasn't money, material things, or even advice. It was her example. She showed me how to love without conditions, how to stay strong without being harsh, and how to live a life of dignity no matter the circumstances. At 30, I can say with pride, whatever good there is in me, much of it came from her. And if you've ever been lucky enough to have a grandmother like mine, you know exactly what I mean.